Part 2, the invisible empire. Let's look beneath the surface. Imagine walking into the garage of an average person. You'll probably see a car, maybe two. Walk into the house. You'll find a television, a sofa, a dining table, a laptop, all things they own. Now imagine walking into the financial life of a self-made millionaire. What do you think you'll find? Another garage full of luxury cars? A room packed with expensive watches? A closet overflowing with designer clothes? Maybe. But that's not where most of their wealth actually lives. In fact, the things that make them rich usually can't be seen at all. Because while most people spend their lives collecting products, wealthy people spend their lives collecting ownership. And those are two completely different games. Think about the phone in your pocket. You probably own it. But every time you pay your monthly phone bill, someone else earns money. Every time you stream a movie, someone owns that platform. Every time you order food, someone owns the app. Every time you shop online, someone owns the marketplace. The world is full of transactions, but hidden behind almost every transaction is an owner. Most people focus on buying things. Rich people focus on becoming the person who gets paid every time someone else buys them. That's why they all seem to own the same invisible things. Pieces of companies, apartment buildings, warehouses, index funds, businesses, intellectual property. Things that don't just sit there, they work. Imagine buying a vending machine. On the first day, it earns $20. The second day, another $20. The third day, another $20. You're not trading your time anymore. The machine is working while you're sleeping. Now imagine owning 10 vending machines, or 100, or owning part of a company that has thousands of machines all over the country. That's how ownership works. Money stops being something you spend. It becomes an employee. Every dollar gets assigned a job. Its only purpose is to bring back more dollars. And once you understand that, you begin to see the world differently. A shopping mall isn't just a place to buy clothes. It's a business generating rent. A coffee shop isn't just where people buy coffee. It's a cash flow machine. An apartment isn't simply somewhere to live. It's an asset capable of producing income for decades. That's exactly how wealthy people see the world. They don't just ask, what does this cost? They ask, what does this produce? That single question changes almost every financial decision they'll ever make. Research on wealthy households has found that their wealth is heavily concentrated in productive assets like businesses and stocks, rather than items that lose value over time. That's why two people can earn exactly the same salary, yet end up with completely different futures. One buys liabilities, the other quietly accumulates assets. At first, the difference is almost invisible. A few $100s here, a few thousand there, nothing dramatic. But then something fascinating happens. Those assets begin creating income. That income buys more assets. Those assets generate even more income. And suddenly, wealth starts growing on its own. It's like planting a single apple seed. For years, nothing remarkable happens. Then one tree appears. That tree produces hundreds of apples. Inside every apple are more seeds. Years later, one tiny seed has quietly become an entire orchard. That's exactly how ownership compounds. And here's what's truly fascinating. It doesn't matter whether you're Warren Buffett, a local business owner, or someone who quietly invested every month for 30 years. Mathematics never changes. Eventually, everyone who follows this path starts owning surprisingly similar things. Not because someone told them to, not because they copied each other, because the math keeps leading them to the same destination. That's why wealthy people across different countries, different cultures, and completely different industries often end up building nearly identical portfolios, stocks, businesses, real estate, cash-producing assets, not because they're fashionable, because they work. But while I was researching this, one question refused to leave my mind. If wealthy people understand all of this, if they know real wealth comes from ownership, then why do they still spend thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, on luxury brands? Why buy a watch that tells the same time as a $50 watch? Why wear shoes that cost 10 times more than everyone else's? Why carry handbags worth the price of a car? At first it seemed completely irrational, until I realized they weren't buying the object. They were buying something invisible, something psychologists have been studying for decades. A silent language that every human understands, even if they don't realize it. And once you see that language, you'll never look at luxury the same way again.